Your approach to your relationship with a woman will ultimately determine whether it is simple and fun for you or highly stressful and difficult. In this video, we'll discuss some of the mistakes that men do that make relationships difficult and irritating for them, as well as what you can do to make relationships simple and fun. Here are some relationship tips for males. First, developing a dynamic in a relationship centered on the worry of being discarded frequently results in it. For instance, a man could offer his partner excessive control over the relationship because he worries about being dumped if he doesn't let her leave. On the other hand, another guy doesn't give his girlfriend any authority or voice because he wants to maintain control over her and doesn't want to risk being betrayed or discarded. The male is behaving out of fear in both situations, which is not the best approach to have a simple and pleasurable relationship with a lady. That will make a relationship difficult and unpleasant. It will be incredibly irritating for the guy in the first scenario who is letting the woman walk all over him, do whatever she wants to do, and give her all the power because no matter what he does for her, it will never be enough. She will never sincerely admire him, find him attractive, or fall in love with him. Instead, she will consider him to be a bit of a bother, a burden, and someone she is dating but isn't really sure about. She will also find herself becoming annoyed and upset when around him, for reasons she may or may not be aware of. In such situations, a man's greatest fear is being discarded or betrayed, and that is generally what happens to him since his partner doesn't truly believe that she is in love with him, can't respect him, or hasn't developed a strong enough connection to him. Some males take the other example to its logical conclusion. She is not given any voice by the guy, because he fears she could cheat on him or leave him if he lets her out of his sight. He attempts to control her and is exceedingly possessive and protective. In certain circumstances, the lady is put off by his uneasiness. She can't stay in love with him since she doesn't respect him, finds him unattractive, and doesn't respect her. Therefore, if you want to make a relationship with a woman simple and joyful, you must let go of your anxiety. If you focus on your worry of maybe being dumped or betrayed, your conduct will alter. You'll start worrying about things that aren't important. You'll start acting in ways that are out of character. Or you can start acting needy, jealous, or domineering, among other emotions. Women find these behaviors unattractive and only drive them away. You must let go of your fear if you want to draw the woman to you and keep her by your side. You must believe that you are suitable for her and that, over time, you two are improving as a relationship. Therefore, she has no motive to leave you. But how can your relationship get better and better each time? How can you progressively arouse her desire for you? How are you going to make her feel like she wants to stay with you? Well, doing more and more for her or putting a lot of effort into the relationship is definitely not the answer. That method of approaching relationships is difficult and exhausting. That is not required of you. Now, let's talk about the second advice. The best approach to make a lady fall in love with you more and more is not by investing much more effort in the relationship than she does. A male would typically feel insecure about his position in the woman's life when a relationship initially begins when a pair is falling in love, having sex, and enjoying one another's company. He will declare that she wants to be with him as he looks at her, and he will be certain that he will like the connection. But eventually, she could start to play a test on him by showing less interest and watching how he responds. Does he start to feel uneasy? Does he begin to suck her up and keep doing more for her in an effort to get her to love him the way she used to? Is he caught in the trap? Or does he realize that making a lady fall in love with him more and more isn't something he should do all the time? The goal is to reveal her good girl side instead, making her want to be kind to him, having her respect him, having her treat him well, making her be loving and caring, and, more importantly, making her love doing it with the lady. It is what actually works. Due to the fact that practically no other male a woman has ever met has been able to get her to act in that way for an extended period of time, this is what causes her to fall even more in love with you. At the beginning of a relationship, it is relatively simple to get a lady to act that way. But seeing her act in that manner after many years of dating is what makes a woman become even more in love with the man. When she truly loves it and he inspires her to treat him properly, pay attention, and be kind to him, that is what happens. Third, relationships are not difficult to maintain. Hard effort is a term that some individuals frequently use to describe their relationship and how they were able to maintain it. A great deal of effort. Relationships are challenging. That is accurate for them since they are taking an inefficient course of action. For instance, a man may take his wife's temper outbursts too seriously. He is very concerned about her testing. It's a good idea not to take a woman's test seriously, since doing so will help you develop a connection that is simple and fun. However, this does not imply that the male should not take everything this lady says seriously. Instead, I'm arguing that a male shouldn't take it seriously when a woman is acting out, being a pain in the butt, taunting him, or otherwise attempting to diminish him and make him feel insecure. That need not bother him personally. He is under no obligation to participate in the drama. With her, he can laugh. He is able to make light of it. In a relationship where they are in charge, men don't take a woman's crap seriously. And the reason I say crap is because many women, when asked what kind of person they truly want to be, mention traits like a man who doesn't take my bullshit seriously and a man who doesn't put up my bullshit. That's not to mean a man should treat his wife poorly, belittle her, be furious with her, or do anything similar. Rather, I'm trying to make the point that a male doesn't necessarily have to take a woman's drama seriously. He is not required to participate in the drama. He can mock her for being a little bit of a drama queen. He may become embroiled in the controversy and emerge as a source of amusement. He need not interpret it as personal jab. He doesn't have to start acting sentimental around his girlfriend. He doesn't need to use a lot of effort and more carefully around her in an effort to avoid agitating or upsetting her. He can approach her nonsense with a little more latitude and not take it seriously. The fourth method, making sex into something you receive from her, eventually causes her to lose interest. An illustration of this would be if the woman started making affectionate advances when the pair was sitting on a couch together. The man acts as though he is receiving something. Additionally, he expresses his gratitude for being fortunate enough to be receiving anything from her. She doesn't like that. Reacting masculinely or in a way that will increase her attraction at that instant and maybe result in a kiss and sex right then and then is what all turn her on. When a relationship first starts, or perhaps during the first few years, many males find that their lady is initially interested in sex. However, after that, she gradually loses interest in sex until she ultimately stops wanting it. The lady just doesn't make the first move. She gives off the impression that she may accept it or not. Who cares? It's simply sex, nothing more. That occurs when a man sets up a situation where it appears as though they are having sex so he may benefit. For the sake of feeling good, he wants to have sex with her. He wishes they could be close. If he wants to know firsthand that she is only there to fulfill his needs. Now, if you consider that in a pickup situation, when a guy is attempting to pick up a lady, he is hoping to surely choose the woman up. He is hoping to just want her to like him, and he is just hoping to go someplace. What happens when males use such tactics to approach the woman? The woman believes that she is more valuable than the man, and that by giving him a chance, she will be effectively doing him a favor. She does not believe that the man is more worthy than her, and she believes that she'd be lucky to be with him. Relationships operate under the same core tenet. Creating an environment where she looks forward to having sex with you is the best course of action. She needs and desires that in order to feel connected to you, confident in herself and loved. However, if a male sets up a situation where having sex from her becomes the focus of everything, she will shut off. She will progressively lose interest in having sex. Number 5. Being emotionally courageous in a relationship can bring you far bigger benefits than being emotionally reserved. An illustration of this would be a guy who had a heartbreak of a past relationship ending. When he enters a new relationship, he keeps his partner at a distance emotionally. He is cautious about being too intimate with her. In case he is harmed, he doesn't want to throw himself at her too much. However, employing that strategy leads to a strong, satisfying emotional connection between him and his partner, and the relationship stagnates. If he actually wanted to be with her but was acting emotionally guarded out of fear of getting wounded, he will regret it. In certain circumstances, this will result in a woman ending the relationship. He'll regret not being emotionally courageous since his excessive self-preservation led to a partnership dynamic that lacked a satisfying emotional connection. What then is the answer? The answer isn't for a male to rant and rave about his feelings as a girl might. It's not about becoming too sentimental, constantly discussing your emotions and etc. It's about having no emotional dread instead, not being concerned about the repercussions of telling a woman you love her, not being frightened to progress in a relationship and fall further and deeper in love with a lady. Being emotionally brave also doesn't include a man constantly professing his love for a lady. It's not about a man being fixated on a lady and saying things like, I adore you, you are the best, you're the best woman I've ever had, I would be lost without you, all I want is you, and other similar phrases. That is not what I'm referring to. Being emotionally brave in a relationship is important. Not being concerned about the effects of loving a lady. Not attempting to prevent yourself from maybe getting hurt if you put yourself out there and then the relationship goes apart. The problem is that looking at divorce and separation statistics and realizing that they are quite common across all nations may give you the impression that it may happen to you. But I suggest you pay attention to the opposite side of that figure. The likelihood that if it's 50%, then 50% of those relationships will last for the rest of a person's life. Additionally, there are things you can do in your relationship to make it simple, fun, and help you and your lady fall in love more and more over time. One last point in this video is that the powerful in this relationship can be changed assuming that a man has made a relationship dynamic where his lady isn't conscious of him, doesn't start love, doesn't regard him as well as she used to. It doesn't imply that they can change the dynamic of the relationship and inspire her to regard him, be friendly, and treat him well. Almost every woman has it in her to be a decent woman in a relationship, to treat her partner properly. She has it inside her, and one of the most amazing aspects of it is that when a man brings out that part of a woman in a relationship she respects, is drawn to, and loves him so much more. The thought that he can draw that aspect of her out and keep it out makes her content with herself. It brings her joy to be alive. It allows her to appreciate the connection more. It allows her to enjoy her life. And more significantly, it's a lot more pleasant for the male. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video.